What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all having an amazing day. Now, today I've got for you an in real life story that happened just a few days ago at the Olympics involving an athlete that was kicked out of her team for inappropriate behavior. Now, whether or not this behavior was entitled or not is up to us to decide. But what I'm going to do here is, first of all, read a post from somebody on Reddit who was extremely angry about this and posted it to r/EntitledPeople before jumping into a news article which details exactly what's gone on. Okay, so let's start things off with the Reddit post. Swimmer Luana Alonso kicked out of Olympic Village for inappropriate behavior. She was like, screw my teammates and supporting them throughout the Olympics. I lost, so I'm going to bounce from the Olympic Village, tour France and visit Disneyland since I'm here anyways. I'm going to wear whatever I want around the Olympic Village because I don't care about the dress code I am obligated to follow. Screw the millions the taxpayers from my home country spent on our amazing uniforms so we look cool and professional. The Paraguay coaches made Luana leave the Olympics because she was a nuisance and a distraction. Cheering for and supporting her teammates was in her contract to attend the Olympics. For the people who think it's okay to do whatever you want, you've never participated in athletics or you're unathletic, period. You can't do whatever you want at the Olympics after you win or lose. You can't do whatever you want at your job or while on a work trip for your profession either. There are standards you're still expected to follow for a company. The fact that a lot of you can't understand the Olympics is no different than working for an employer is very concerning for the future of society. This is exactly why some of you have been fired at your jobs and still do not understand why. Okay, there is the Reddit post. Okay, now while I must admit that I think that is a little bit strong from OP, I'm not sure that I would go to those sort of lengths talking about, unathleticism or people not understanding athletics because they've never competed. I think that the whole notion of, the Olympics being your job and you signing a contract to act in a certain way while you're at the Olympics is a very good point. And also on top of that, you're representing your country. Like that is the most important thing in my opinion. And yeah, there's no doubt in my mind that the Paraguay officials did the right thing by telling her that she had to leave. She was just kind of taking the mick, to be honest. Okay, now let's jump into a news article from New York Post, which gives a little bit more context and facts about this. Again, same title. Swimmer Luana Alonso kicked out of Olympic Village for, quote, inappropriate behavior. This published on August the 5th. It's been an eventful Paris Olympics for Paraguayan swimmer Luana Alonso. The 20-year-old athlete, who retired from the sport after she failed to advance out of her heats and into the women's 100-meter butterfly semi-finals on July 27th, was asked to leave the Olympic Village for creating an inappropriate environment, The Sun reported Monday. Quote, her presence is creating an inappropriate atmosphere within Team Paraguay, Larissa Scherer, head of the Paraguayan Olympic Committee, said in a statement published by the outlet. We thank her for proceeding as instructed, as it was of her own free will that she did not spend the night in the athletes' village. And for those of you watching on YouTube, here's a picture of her. Paraguayan swimmer Luana Alonso competed at the 2024 Paris Olympics. And here's another picture of her. There you go. A very attractive woman, I will say. Anyway, let's move on. Alonso had reportedly been staying in the Olympic Village despite announcing her retirement from the sport. Paraguayan media outlets reported that Alonso had spent time in Disneyland instead of supporting her teammates, upsetting the country's Olympic leadership. A separate report by the Daily Mail said Alonso became a distraction to other competitors with her skimpy clothing and socializing with other athletes. She finished 6th in her heat with a time of 1:03.09, which was higher than her 1 minute pretty much from her heat in the Tokyo Olympics 3 years ago. I mean, wow, 3 seconds more. Not ideal. And there we go. Another couple of pictures of her. A lovely one on a jet ski from her Instagram. But yeah, she was dumped out, I guess, in the heats. US swimmers Tori Husk and Gretchen Walsh finished 1st and 2nd, respectively. Now, here is a quote from Alonso's Instagram, which we'll end with. It's official. I'm retiring from swimming. Thank you all so much for your support. Sorry, Paraguay. I just have to say thank you. So there we go. Now, I will say this to you guys. Some of you will know this. I've been at the Olympics for the past sort of 5 days or so, and it's an amazing event. And the greatest thing about it, in my opinion, is sort of the vibe and the fact that, countries come together. People just love it. Everyone's there for the sport, but it's more than that. It's more about the stories and like the team ethic and the collaboration between individuals, and yeah, everyone coming together and just the whole world uniting for this one event. And look, I do think that I have to agree with what's gone on here. Again, I don't think I would say as strongly as what this user put on Reddit. I'm not as sort of like angry at it or at people that say it's not that bad. But I feel like maybe she was there for the wrong reasons. I don't know. Like, she was so much slower, instantly retired afterwards, which is a little bit weird, before the competition had even finished. Kind of out of the blue, apparently. And then on top of that, yeah, she just left the village, didn't go to any other events that her teammates were competing in, which is, again, very, very weird. And yeah, ultimately, that does have to be labeled, I think, as entitled behavior. Let me know what you think down below, but I think it does. Okay, so that is it for that news story. Massive news over the past few days, but yeah, very interesting to see your guys' thoughts. Anyway, with that being said, let's get back into a more usual entitled people story. Entitled flatmate pushing boundaries. My husband and I rent a large 2-story, 2-bedroom flat in London. I'm going to be moving back to the US next month, and depending on the election, either applying for a green card for my husband or coming back to the UK after this job. Needless to say, I am so stressed. A few months ago, a friend who is going through a divorce asked about moving into the extra bedroom after I leave. We thought, hey, let's save some money and help a friend out, win-win. But then it became an emergency. He can't stay in his rented accommodation and needs to move in ASAP. I'm an extreme introvert, and having people in my space makes me even more stressed than I already am. But again, friend with an emergency, we welcome him. He moves in with so much stuff, like more than my husband and I combined. We no longer have use of our dining room, but whatever, I'm moving soon. So I put up with the clutter. I put up with an extra person. I put up with cleaning the toilet because he doesn't know how to not leave poop stains in the toilet bowl. But I am stressed. Then my husband tells me that my friend has a new girlfriend, separated from his wife for less than 6 months, but whatever. He says that my friend told him that his girlfriend is in a bad living situation. My husband, confused, says that he's sorry to hear that. My friend then asks when he thinks he'll be moving out to join me in America. My husband says that he's not sure. It takes time to get a green card. My friend says again that his girlfriend is in a bad situation. My husband says, well, sorry. I'm furious and even more stressed when my husband tells me this. Like, what the F? We open our home to you and you're trying to push us out to move in the women you've been screwing for a few months? Then my friend corners my husband and asks if his girlfriend can stay over last night. My husband hesitantly says, okay, one night, but to also ask me. He does. I'll explain that I'm super uncomfortable with people I don't know, but one night, and please don't make it a habit, is okay. So his girlfriend stays the night, and all freaking day, I haven't been able to bring myself to leave my bedroom except to run to the kitchen for food, where I got cornered by the girlfriend, gushing that she's heard so much about how wonderful I am. No, girlfriend, you're not moving in. And if my friend keeps pushing it, he's going to be living with you in your bad situation. I'm exhausted and stressed and angry. Please tell me I'm not crazy. Of course you're not crazy. This is awful. 6th grade teacher got petty with me because I didn't give her a cupcake on my birthday. This happened many years ago, as I'm 23 now, and I was 12 when this happened. I'll admit on my end I could have done things to avoid this situation, but at the same time, now that I'm an adult, I personally wouldn't have handled this the way my 6th grade teacher did. I mostly found what she did to be entitled because she vilified me, remember, I was 12 at the time, over something that could have simply been a learning experience, and she made it about her. Basically, when this happened, I brought in cupcakes since it was my birthday. The cupcakes in question were from Costco. My dad was the one to pick them out, and I'll admit that was too much for kids. One of my flaws is that I'm a people pleaser, and back then, I was one. Basically, during lunch, I distributed the cupcakes to all of my classmates, minus a couple who declined to have one because they were huge. Not the classmates, by the way, the cupcakes. Plus some of my friends from other classes. Then some other kids I weren't close to asked for one, and I gave one to them when I definitely shouldn't have. One of those things where kids are only nice to someone when they have food. Oh, I remember those days. To be fair, I probably have been on the other end of that as well, I'm not going to lie. There was one cupcake left over, and I was going to offer it to my teacher. But once we got back to the classroom, my teacher decided to put me on the spot in front of everyone. Basically, she said it was an insult that I gave cupcakes to all these other kids who didn't play with me at recess at all and were only nice because I had cupcakes. But I didn't offer one to her. Now looking back, yes, I should have offered her one then and there, but I took that as she didn't want one, so I ended up taking it home, but I did apologize to her. After putting me on the spot, she made it a point to say that she wouldn't join in with the rest of the class singing happy birthday to me. Oh my goodness. As a result, she made some rules when it came to bringing in cupcakes on birthdays, as she made it so cupcakes were distributed in class rather than during lunch, and that we had to get her permission first. I'll admit, not asking first was my bad. I definitely made assumptions based on how my classmates did things. No, I disagree with that. It's your birthday. If you want to hand out cupcakes to your friends, you can do that. Surely. I mean, you're not like 6 years old here. You are 12. Anyway, OP says that part I understand. However, she definitely held a grudge about it for a bit. Well, personally speaking, that part I do not understand. If I want to give cakes out on my birthday, I'm going to do it. No matter what, my teacher says. About a month later, another kid had a birthday and brought in cupcakes. And she made it a point to ensure that I was the last person to get a cupcake, basically attempting to teach me a lesson for how I handled cupcakes on my birthday. I remember my parents were worried that the whole cupcake incident would affect my grades, and my mum encouraged me to give her an orange as an apology. Luckily, after ensuring I was the last person to get a cupcake for that one kid's birthday, she didn't bring it up again with the other kids' birthdays. What is wrong with this woman? Now I understand she was trying to teach me a lesson. However, I feel like she made it way too personal and it could have been handled better on her end. It was definitely a teachable moment for me, at least. However, if I was ever in this situation as an adult, I definitely couldn't imagine going out of my way to embarrass a kid because I as an adult felt excluded. I was not the best at setting boundaries with peers as a kid, and it's something I've had to work on a lot. As for my dad getting cupcakes from Costco, I definitely don't recommend bringing those in for elementary school kids. Now on my channel, you will know, guys, that I've read a lot of crazy stories involving some really crazy people, but I actually genuinely, I'm not even saying this just for exaggeration. I do not know if I've ever met or come across someone, I'd hate to meet this person, ever come across an individual that is as weird as this. Like holding a grudge against one of your students because they didn't give you a cupcake on their birthday, on their 12th birthday, because they were being nice to other kids and decided to give a cupcake to another student instead of you. That is actually just so peculiar. Kind of lost for words. Like as I said, we've seen some people do some crazy things that are just like unbelievable. But in terms of like just very, very niche, being super weird and just so rogue, that has to be up there for me. What is going through that woman's head? What issues does she have to pick on a 12-year-old for doing this? I don't know. Some teachers are bad, but they're not as weird as that. Now, I will say that in the knowledge that at my school, my secondary school, we had 2 convicted nonces. So make of that what you will. Is that staying in? Yeah, why not? But maybe that's illegal. This is not illegal. This is just weird. I'm not saying that noncing isn't weird, but yes, I should probably end this episode now. Thank you for watching. Catch you on the next one.